Alrighty, welcome back to another week, another day, another Monday, another week of NFL
Another
football
spiteful Monday, yeah.
full of pain and suffering, but we will get to all that and very much more on this week's episode of the To Be
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Fair Fantasy Football Podcast. Alrighty, like I said, welcome back. This is the To Be Fair Fantasy Football Podcast. As always, I am one of your hosts, Johnny. To my left is Chris, and beneath me is Nick. We are so happy to join you. Not necessarily happy with the outcome of this past weekend of football, exactly the opposite.
I was the only one that was okay with Eagles winning.
Yes. It was the exact
And I was
opposite of what I wanted
and
to
I was
happen.
and I was indifferent. That wasn't even like I wanted the Eagles to win. It was just like I don't really care.
I actually texted Nick during that game that I actually have escalated to hatred for the Eagles. That game pushed me to hatred. From dislike to hatred.
Let me take one giant stab at to what pushed you over the edge. And that would be the tush push.
There's three.
That was such a dumb joke.
That
was one of your worst moments.
There was three. The tush push, hate it. I don't want to watch 7 hours of that crap. 2, AJ Brown is becoming quickly one of the most annoying wide receivers in the league. He went for 60 yards and a touchdown, and he gets in Marshawn Lattimore's face, who I know has a history of fighting. And AJ Brown should have been penalized. Rips the guy's helmet. Doesn't get anything. That really annoyed me. And 3, every time I see Nick Sirianni, I automatically get angry. Every time. I just don't like him. And every fan of the Philadelphia Eagles oozed that same spirit. So they're not Ravens or Pittsburgh level. Nobody is Chiefs level.
I'll say the problem is you're still rooting for them on the ninth.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm still rooting for them. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But they're now moved past the dislike to they're in the hatred echelon for me.
What teams are a part of that category? Now the Eagles, obviously Eagles, Chiefs.
Eagles,
we'll
Chiefs,
get this out of the way.
Steelers, Ravens.
Okay, that's division. Okay, fair.
I don't hate the Browns because they're so bad. I just laugh at the Browns.
And Jameis. You gotta love Jameis.
Yeah, I love Jameis Winston. Honestly, there's not that many teams I like. That might be it. I don't think I.
Are there any bubble teams?
The Dolphins were close, but that's because Josh was pushing me there. But once he stopped,
he's backed off.
Fine. So they were really close.
Also, I feel bad because with Tua they're kind of good, and without Tua they are incompetent, which is hilarious.
I'm trying to think if there are bubble teams that the Bengals play, and it's just like, man, I hate watching them play them. I don't really think so. It's just I mostly just hate watching those 3 or 4.
Yep.
It's anybody else. I'm whatever. Like I went to 3 or 4 Bengals games this year. I watched the Commanders bash our face in. I watched the Eagles bash our face in. I watched us beat the Broncos, but like I don't hate the Broncos and I don't hate the Commanders. And I didn't hate the Eagles at the time, but now I do. But it wasn't because of that. Like there's just teams, the moment they step foot on the field, it's automatic hatred.
Yeah.
Ugh.
What's crazy?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, sorry. No, I was just going to acknowledge Saquon Barkley. Have you seen that this man is now like, I think it's like genuinely like either 80 yards or 100 yards from a 3,000 yard like total season.
And he's the only person on that team I like.
Oh, dude, yeah. Devonta Smith.
And no, I mean I don't hate Devonta Smith, but I don't like him. I'm
Dude,
actively rooting for Saquon. I don't have anything
if I
against him.
send you that picture of him on the Alabama sideline with his pad pulled up under his thing and his arms down to his ankles, you can't say it's not a great picture.
I don't. There,
Okay.
there's some players that I hate. That if enough of them get on one team, I could probably hate that team.
Fair
But
enough.
I don't think that's gonna happen. They're spread out. They're dispersed all over
Yeah,
the league.
that's a lot. That would be a lot of
Yeah.
things that would have to fall a certain way.
Yeah, and for any of you Chiefs people out there, I don't want to ever hear that the Patriots dynasty was this annoying ever, because it never was. Because one, Tom Brady was doing this in an era of football where running the ball was way more valued than it was now, and his stats are almost as good as Patrick Mahomes in his first 7 years. Two, despite Deflategate, jury's still out on that one. I think the Patriots were actually dominant. The Chiefs, minus Patrick Mahomes' year when he threw for 100 touchdowns, have not looked dominant in the last 2 or 3 seasons. They've looked good, but not dominant. Like, even at 45, Tom Brady stepped out on the field. I had more confidence that he was going to dominate somebody than Patrick Mahomes now. The man, let me throw out a little stat for you, because I was hate looking at stats today. He threw for 245 yards in this game. 230 of them were yards after catch.
Yikes.
230! And people call Joe Burrow a yak merchant. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. That's all I had to say.
Yeah, I have a lot of like recommended, like when you're scrolling, it'll just like show things that like things you like, and for some reason I don't really know how. I get like a very specific Chiefs account that like I don't know, I don't follow them. I like thought I accidentally like clicked like the follow one time, but like it doesn't exist. Like I don't, but like it keeps coming up on my timeline, and like this narrative about like the penalties and the games being rigged and them getting help. This Chiefs account keeps posting the stats about like, for instance, they talk about like roughing the passer. Over the last like 4 years, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs rank like bottom 5 as far as like they've gotten the least roughing the passer calls. And so they'll be like, but the refs rig it, right? And it's just like, dude, okay. Yes, that stat is low, but you're negating the fact that like, let's just circle back to yesterday's game, okay? Hot take. I don't think Josh Allen had a first down. I don't think he passed the line.
He did.
I think
there was. I saw a bunch of stuff today where like they drew the line from the angle like across the line and then up the thing, and then they circle where Josh Allen is, and he's like just shifted behind it, and the ball's like on the wrong side.
Have you seen the top view?
I get it. It's controversial, but like it is what it is. Take that one out of it. Xavier Worthy's catch. Ball blatantly touches the ground.
Yes.
Secondly, the defender not only had, if you're gonna call that a completed pass, the defender has 2 arms underneath, and the guy has 1, and it's not even like a full arm. It's like he has his wrist wrapped around it, and then they hit the ground, and it like jars it out of the defender. That's not possession. So like, in what world, if it's a catch, is it not an interception? Third, the Patrick Mahomes fumble that somehow was not a fumble because they called offsides. Nick and I were literally watching the game, and even if there was we watched the flag and we were like, oh cool, they're gonna get him for holding. Good thing it doesn't matter. Nope.
Yeah.
Like blatant holding on the other side, and then on top of all of that, you have at the end of the game. Did anybody catch this?
The phantom flag.
Yeah, Josh Allen throws that ball to Dawson Knox. Dawson Knox drops it. Whatever. They're all in shambles. Everybody's freaking out.
Had that thing ready.
Literally, a flag was like on the field. The indicator on the bottom of the thing said flag. And then nobody acknowledged anything. Nobody did anything, and they just moved on. I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, they had that ready to. It's just all of those things combined. I personally think Josh Allen got the first. I think that they got the third. I don't even think they should have had to go fourth down.
The Dawson Knox got there.
The third down spot was atrocious.
Here's what I think I'm frustrated about with the Josh Allen rush in that moment is you had done it like 7 times before that and not gotten a yard. And it was like, it'll work now. Like, that's, I think, why I'm like, dude, you didn't deserve the first. Like, in that moment, I can live with you not getting it, because how dumb are you to think that, like, on the 9th try that something's going to work?
Yeah.
Like, that is literally the definition of insanity.
It's just a really bad look when the line judge that can see Josh Allen holding the ball is spotting him with the first down, and the one with Josh Allen's back to him is overruling him. Like, that's crazy. That should never happen. Like, and I've seen, like, the replay. The guy clearly comes in and signals, like, first down, and he's facing Josh Allen with the ball, and the guy looking at his back is like, no, he's short. And it's like, what are we doing? Like, what? Everybody in the world can see this now. Like, I don't understand.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this whole narrative about like the Chiefs fans or just like even commentators defending and being like, no, it's fair. Well, like, look how many less penalties. It's like, yeah, that's my point exactly. Is like, look how many less penalties. That's what we're saying. Like, we're saying the same thing. You're just defending that.
Like, Aikman and Joe Buck and even Tony Romo and Jim Nantz and Gene Steratore and even Adam Schefter have all been like, yo, these penalties have been lopsided. But then you have all the, like, Nate Burlesons and, you know, Monday morning show guys that are like, y'all just ain't ready for another Chiefs for a dynasty. You just ain't ready for
There's
that.
a reason you had to go to the Good Morning America show, because nobody cared about your football information.
Yeah.
There's a reason that your best year was on the Cleveland Browns when they didn't win a single game.
Boom.
Yeah, it's that crap where it's like, okay, well,
we're way more relevant than him, right?
Yeah, idiot.
That's like,
go take your glasses off, nerd.
I'm gonna default to freaking Troy Aikman and Joe Buck and Tony Romo. And if Tony Romo isn't glazing Patrick Mahomes, you know it's bad. Like, that's when we know something's not right. And he was even
the only one standing strong so far is Collinsworth. If he ever criticizes, that's when you really know.
That's when we know it is over. But it's,
I don't know. It's just frustrating.
We have it on here. It's in part of the title, State of the NFL, LOL. I've told a couple of my friends, I genuinely, if this team somehow leaves in 2027, you know, because of the contract dispute, I don't think they will. If by, you know, because God hates us that they do, and we don't have a team anymore, I will simply cease to watch the NFL. That is the point it's reached for me. And
I don't know what I'll do. It'll be really hard for me not to want to watch. But if it
find a new team,
that's what I'm gonna say. Like, I would have to just latch on to wherever the Bengals move to.
I don't think I would
care. But then the problem is that, like, it doesn't have the same draw. 1 and 2, like you mentioned, I for like the longest time have been so like Sunday, like church, and then I get to go to watch football like all day. I love it. And like just over the last like 2 years, it's been so like
mid 4:30 game. It's like
it's the classic. it's turning into like what a lot of the other sports are in my mind. When I was like in high school, I watched everything. As I've gotten out of high school, every other sport other than NFL was like, I'll watch the playoffs. I'll watch like college basketball I don't care about, but like I'll watch if it's on, especially if it's like number 1 versus number 2. Like, sure. Baseball, like I'll watch, you know, big time teams play each other when like it's supposed to be a good game. Like, that's fun. That's basically what the NFL's gotten to. But even that now is like the good game. I said it in the beginning of the year. I didn't think they were good. And you can't, at this point, the frustrating part is you can't convince me they are when how blatant the officiating, how bad it's been.
Yeah, it's
Like if you, I understand there's a statistic about like good teams find ways to win. The Chiefs are 17-0 now in one-score games. Like whatever argument you want to make, fine. You're finding ways to win. Who cares? Like that qualifies you for being good. But like we said it last year when they let Tyreek go, and we were like, they're washed. They have no receiver. It was kind of true, but like they still made it work somehow. Yesterday, Kareem Hunt was somehow barreling over those Bills defenders, and I'm just like, what is happening?
it's like, but I can live. I can live with
I can
that.
I can live with that. I'm with you. It's just like it's one of those like it's not a team that you're on paper like, yep, that's the ticket to success. Like there's just nothing about it. Like if you said Kareem Hunt was your RB1 going into the season, we would have been like, well, you're gonna get a good draft pick probably.
Yeah. I mean, on the flip side for us Bengals fans, Nick and I talked about this a little bit. This playoff sequence pretty much put to bed any doubt of any quarterback being better than Joe Burrow in my mind.
Anybody that laughed and said Joe Burrow was not elite, you might look dumb.
I mean,
dumber than any human that ever existed.
Every week, a different team. We were like, okay, let's watch, because we were told that Justin Herbert was better, that Jalen Hurts is better, that Patrick Mahomes is better, that Josh Allen and Lamar. I was entertaining Josh Allen and Lamar for this season for a period of time because of how they were playing. Josh Allen looked lost out there for the first half of that game. He looked like he had never played on the big stage before. And it was like, dude, what are you doing? I get it. He does not have the weapons. But he didn't have the weapons all year, and he already beat the Chiefs once.
So, and again, I'll say it again. In his defense, I think the play calling was atrocious.
Atrocious.
Like
that's part two.
The amount of times that I understand Josh Allen is known for running the ball, all in on utilizing that skill set. It wasn't working, and you just kept like, well, we're just gonna hammer this thing. I was like, dude, okay.
Yeah, that's my part two of why Bengals fans should be happy. I have no doubt in my mind now that Zach Taylor is a better coach than most of the coaches we've seen in the playoffs so far. That offensive play calling has been brutal, not just for the Bills, the Chargers. I said I would take Harbaugh over Zach Taylor. I take it back.
I said I wouldn't.
I take it back.
I said I wouldn't. I wanted to see more.
I did not. I knew I wouldn't take McDermott, and I was right. And Nick Sirianni, it's hard to judge because you have the best running back by a million miles.
It's a star-studded team. Defensively, you have a bunch of number one draft picks, so like that's a good defense. You have your receivers are AJ Brown, Devonta Smith. Like that's a say what you will, top 5 duo.
But literally every other coach besides Andy Reid in the playoffs, I'm content with Zach Taylor. That's where I'm at. It's just.
I can't really argue against it. I can't say he would have done any better or any worse. That's for sure.
Yeah, I know that Zach probably wouldn't have run the ball. It's not even a probably because he never does that.
He doesn't run the ball anyway.
He ain't going 4th one. He's going empty set, freaking 5 receivers. He'll
put a tight end. He'll put a tight end like offset in the center, about 2 yards behind.
In his defense, he's setting up his best weapons. That's what he's trying to do. Now, Josh Allen is their best weapon. Unless you want to argue, you should probably put James Cook in at some point to run.
I don't understand. It kills me. That whole team has been frustrating to watch because having James Cook on your fantasy team. Let's transition off of that game. James Cook is similar, and I'm not okay. Nick, don't freak out. You have like a secret love for Jahmyr Gibbs.
Oh, it's not secret.
So when I say this This is not to say he's as good as
It's about
Jahmyr
to be
Gibbs.
crazy.
He's
Okay?
better.
No. It's not gonna be crazy. I'm just gonna say
Let me get
when
ready.
James Cook has gotten that like all kinds of work. You saw it with Jahmyr Gibbs. David Montgomery went down. Jahmyr Gibbs got all this work, and he was incredible. When James Cook is the guy and then has a game where he has 20 plus carries, it 9 times out of 10 transitions to like 100 plus rushing yards, usually like 20, 30 yards in catching, and then he has 2 or 3 touchdowns. Like it's always a good game. The problem is James Cook, dude, and Ty Johnson. Like, what
Yeah.
are we doing?
I don't know.
Okay, maybe you have to spell guys. I can live with that. Ray Davis, maybe he's good. I'm not going to argue against that point. I'm just saying, like, you put your best players on the field. And I don't understand why James Cook, like you mentioned, all season, you'd have this game where he'd put up 35 fantasy points, and you're like, thank you. You finally used him. Maybe now you'll see how good he is. And then the next game, he'd have like 11 carries. And like, that's it. You're just like, what are we doing?
A dangerous one to draft.
Crazy take.
I'm not saying he was that elite. I'm just saying, like, it's similar that if he gets that production, he was, like, clearly
Better.
awesome. But, like, it's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
he's
yeah.
not getting that
Yeah,
level.
yeah. I feel that.
But yes, the current state of the NFL is bad. I think there's boycott the Super Bowl is going around. It will not get boycott. The Chiefs are going for a three-peat.
Taylor Swift is involved.
You got Swift fans going to watch. You've got uneducated people that don't understand the rigging situation that are going to watch to see history. You've got your.
I will not be watching.
Yeah, I will not be watching. It'll be on in a million homes just because they are not going to have problems with this Super Bowl. The Chiefs are going to win, calling it now. They're going to get the three-peat, and then that's all we're going to hear about for eternity. So just
I keep saying this. At this point, I almost want the Chiefs to win, just so Travis Kelce retires, so I can.
Gosh.
Did you see the play? Here's another thing for you Chiefs fans who argue about no penalties. How many times do you watch Travis Kelce just
I mean,
up in people's faces? And I'm like, what are we doing?
Brother got away with taunting. Somebody pull up his
Like
stat
100 times this season.
Somebody pull up his stat line in that game.
He played the Bills twice this
He only
season,
had,
had
like,
2 catches for 8 yards, and then
21
the first time he played him, he had 2 catches for 8 yards. They literally said it in that game last night.
He had 2
yesterday. 14 yards.
19.
Oh.
Yeah, big
Wow.
difference. But it's like one of them he was taunting because Patrick Mahomes got tackled by DeMar Hamlin in the end zone, and he got up in DeMar Hamlin's face, and it's like, first of all, it wasn't an illegal tackle. Second of all, it wasn't a late tackle. He was just at the line.
If you're even if you're taunting the fact that it was a touchdown, okay?
No flag.
Can't taunt.
Yeah.
Like this is what kills me about people who argue that the Chiefs have not had any penalties called. Like, we're saying the same thing.
The Kelce industry. I like Jason for the most part, but the Kelce industry, the Chiefs, Taylor Swift, have all been granted a protection that nobody has ever received. Tom Brady had his protection moments. He could get up. But that's because Tom Brady would get up and yell at people and demanded equality of calls, not because he demanded special treatment. He would just get up and scream at people like, give me the call, which is what Joe Burrow should be doing, by the way.
This was the first year that I saw Joe Burrow turn to refs and at least do this a couple times.
Whatever's happening with the Chiefs is just like, they know. Like, Travis Kelce knows that he can get away with it, and it's like, okay, whatever. It's hard to watch. I am legitimately looking forward to spring training for the Reds more than I am looking forward to the Super Bowl, which is crazy. That's not a joke. That's like I have watched the Reds lose 102 games in a season. I have a stamina of a god when it comes to losing teams in Cincinnati. I watch 162 games a year for the Cincinnati Reds. And this is more exhausting than that. So if that tells you anything, that's where we're at. At least I can watch Ellie De La Cruz be exciting. Who?
And at least every loss you can chalk up to being like, well, Reds are a small market team.
Yeah,
They don't have
they're not the Dodgers.
$400 billion.
And Ellie De La Cruz, cover of MLB The Show 2025.
I saw that got leaked
So
by himself.
Yep, good job, Ellie. All right, we are moving on to the next portion of our show, which Tony Romo kept bringing it up because no, not Tony Romo. Who called the first game?
Tom Brady and
Yeah, Tom Brady kept bringing it up.
Buck.
No, it wasn't Joe. He's ESPN. Who's the guy with Tom Brady?
Who's the other guy?
Yeah, I don't know. Tom Brady's Fox. Whoever that guy is with Tom Brady, that because of Saquon running just however he pleased for the last couple weeks, there was this era in the NFL over the last couple years where they thought the running backs were dead, they weren't worth paying, and here we go with Saquon, 27 years old, signs a 3-year deal, quite possibly one of the greatest, if not the greatest, free agency signings of all time, and he's doing this. So I suggested to the boys, are the running backs back? Are they worth drafting over some of the stud wide receivers we have seen in the last couple years? I know that it's been wide receiver heavy for the last 5-6 years probably. This year was really the first year they started to turn around. I'm guessing next year it'll be even more running backs.
I feel like this year, I still feel like there was a heavy amount of receivers. But I feel like this is the first year that I remember there being a good bit of receivers that went up there that looking back, you're like, ooh,
Yeah.
I could have taken somebody else and been way better.
Yeah.
So what we did, we each did our first 2 rounds of a 10-man snake PPR draft, how we think it is going to go. Needless to say, our lists are very different because we all draft very differently. This is not what we would draft. This is what we think will probably happen, because if this is what we would draft, let me tell you, my list would not look like this.
No.
There's a lot of people on here I would not ever touch. So, we'll give it to Nick first. Nick, walk us through what you're thinking here with this beautiful list of 20 people.
Am I supposed to just tell you all of mine,
No,
or are we going one at a time?
We'll pick at a time.
Yeah, we'll go pick at a time.
Unanimous.
We're all on the same page.
Should be Jamar.
It's got to be.
After Triple Crown year, he's young. Not a whole lot's probably going to change unless T. Higgins is gone, and even still, Jamar was eaten. So, I mean...
Saw a rumor today. I highly doubt it's true, but I saw the rumor today that the Bengals might be a landing spot for old Cooper Kupp if T. Higgins leaves.
Nick said that same thing.
So
there's a lot of rumors around. I
Zach
saw
Taylor was
Nick
the
told me
wide
that one.
receiver coach for the Rams.
I saw that one. I would much rather have T. Higgins. Nick and I talked about it.
Me too.
Obviously, just age-wise and frankly, production-wise, the last couple of years, Cooper Kupp's had a couple down years. But I've seen articles too that basically if T. Higgins walks, the Bengals just use their first pick and take a receiver, and the receiver that they would get at that spot based off of projections is still like top 3 receiver in the draft. So, who knows what happens?
Yeah. Do you want to ask him the line I gave you the other day, where T. Higgins is in the wide receivers?
You asked me.
I'm asking if we should ask Johnny.
Oh. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, boy.
I thought you were asking Johnny. My bad.
No.
Yeah,
I
ask him.
said the
He's
line...
he's gonna be higher, I think, than both of us.
What we didn't determine a number though.
I think it was like,
Basically,
yeah, I don't say.
what was the number? Just say it.
I think it was like 8, maybe, give or take 1 either direction, maybe.
I said T. Higgins is right below AJ Brown in the wide receiver skill, and I think that
Real life, not fantasy.
Yeah, real life.
Okay.
You're doing a team.
Real life wide receiver skill. You think T. Higgins
and
is
if
the
you're-
8th best?
If you're everyone's off of a team and you're just redrafting the entire NFL and you're taking a wide receiver 1, T. Higgins I think is the 8th off the list, according to last year.
According to
So I don't
last
think
year.
or this year.
Yeah, because like
stats.
our problem, and I'm not gonna spoil you in any way, but guys, and I know you hate him, but guys like Tyreek
Yeah,
Like,
you
is
would take Tyreek
Tyreek?
over T.
He had a
Higgins, but,
really
like,
down year, so like, do you put him above T Higgins? Is he
Uh,
below?
according to this year.
Okay, here we go. Jamar Chase,
Yep.
Justin Jefferson,
Yep.
Mike Evans.
Okay.
I knew he was gonna say Mike Evans.
Amon
I
Ra,
knew-
Yep.
Devontae Adams. He played with freaking 2 hobos and Aaron Rodgers.
Over T. Higgins?
You put Devontae Adams with Joe Burrow, and he's gonna have 1,800 yards,
Nah.
dude.
I do think he'd be
In
crazy.
real life talent,
Okay, but
Yeah.
anyway, continue.
what was I at? 5.
5, yeah,
Um,
Kind of crazy. I haven't heard one name yet.
yeah. There's one person you're forgetting that's like elite.
I might not think they're elite. Is it somebody I don't like?
Plays
No,
in the NFC
NFC,
for a blue team.
Oh, CD.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't like him, but I guess. I don't think he's that much better than T. Higgins, but that's my
But he's better.
He's better. That's my hot take. Hold on, I gotta go through these teams. No.
Do it this way. AFC North, you have Bengals. We're taking that out. Steelers,
No.
Ravens,
No.
Browns.
No.
Nope.
Okay. AFC South, you have the Colts,
No.
Texans. Do you take
No.
Nico?
Wow.
See,
okay.
I'm not crazy, Nick. I said no to Nico. Do you take Brian Thomas Jr. probably from the Jags?
No, and I don't take Stephon Diggs, just to clarify.
Yeah. And then what's the fourth team in that division?
Is it
Titans.
Colts, Titans.
No.
No way it's Kevin Ridley. AFC East,
No.
Bills?
No. I
Jets.
took my jet.
Okay. Dolphins,
No.
Patriots.
No.
Okay. The other AFC division West, Chiefs,
No.
Chargers.
The
No.
only one you could convince me on is Rashi Rice. but
Yeah,
I don't
I would
think
need a
so.
bigger sample size.
Well, the problem is again, if
Yeah.
you specify based off last year, dude played like 4 games or something.
No.
But
Chargers,
Devontae
Raiders,
Adams.
Devontae Adams still had a good year.
Raiders,
No.
Broncos.
No.
Okay, so then you move to the NFC. You already said Justin Jefferson.
You already said
You already said
Amon-Ra.
Amon-Ra.
Yeah.
No Packers.
Packers. No Packers, no Bears. Nobody from Panthers. Nobody from the Saints.
Adam
Don't you
Thielen.
dare take Adam Thielen. No, I knew.
No, nobody from the Saints.
Nobody from the Saints. You already said Mike Evans.
Yeah.
And I doubt you take Drake London
No.
from the Falcons. Then you have CeeDee Lamb you already took. AJ Brown.
Order line. That's the line. I think you can flip flop them. At least.
I'm gonna go no. I'm gonna go T.
But you
Okay.
did you say AJ Brown's right below him?
He's right there. Yeah. Only
Check.
I
Okay.
just like bigger, like taller receivers.
AJ Brown's
Brown's
tall. He's like 6'5".
But I feel like
AJ
I
Brown
feel
is
like
ginormous.
AJ. Look, I just called him AJ Green. That's how I view him.
You want the
I
you
want,
want the
like-
tall skinny guy.
I want like the tall, lanky, like reach out and snatch it. Yeah, like old Iron Hands.
Yeah. There's no way you're taking Neighbors,
No,
and I doubt you take Scary Terry.
no. So
So then the last division, you have one more.
Oh, I forgot about that division.
Debo
No,
from the Niners.
no,
DK
No.
Metcalf. Puka,
no,
and then
Marv.
no way.
no.
So your
Marv.
number is T Higgins is now 7,
Seven.
8.
He's 7.
So
I
he-
was at 6. He's my 7.
Okay. So that was the hot take we were talking about. I think Nick
Thought
and I
I was
had him.
crazy until I laid that out for him.
That might be hot compared to people that don't
That's
like
why
the
they're
Bengals.
projecting him to get $112 million.
Yeah. People that don't like the Bengals, I don't think understand
I mean, yeah.
is
If Jamar Chase
like
wasn't there, T. Higgins could almost do what Jamar does if he could stay
The o-
healthy.
Yeah. T Higgins will not get you the yak Jamar does.
No.
We understand that that's out the window.
But
T
But
Higgins will win
T. Higgins
so
ain't
many jump
dropping
balls.
4 touchdowns
No.
this year,
No.
especially
that-
the ones Jamar
That
dropped.
dude's got freaking vice grips for fingers, man. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Every time I watch him catch, it's always like away from the body. He'll snag it, and then he'll get tackled, and he'll just like palm it as he's rolling. And it makes me nervous every time because I have flashbacks to Jermaine Gresham at tight end from like 10 years ago because he'd carry the ball out here and then freaking
Fumble
fumble
all
every
the time.
time.
Tanner Hudson.
Yeah. All right, so we're unanimous pick 1. Moving on to pick 2. Nick, who do you have? Nick and I got the same guy.
This is easy.
This is
it's
easy.
Saquon.
It should be
Yeah.
Saquon. This buffoon, where's he at? This buffoon says otherwise. Tell him what you put.
I put CeeDee Lamb.
Boo.
Okay. I think here's why. CeeDee Lamb still balled this year. CeeDee Lamb will still go high. That's not a secret. CeeDee Lamb was hurt in the back half of the year and did not have Dak Prescott for like more than half the season. So I just think
So,
the production he had only continues to go up,
Gosh.
is what I'm saying.
you're telling me the man who could have broken the single season
I
rushing
know.
record
I get it.
isn't the number 1
Here's-
or 2 pick?
Here's what I'm saying. I understand exactly what you're saying. In a PPR league, receptions are more valuable than rushing yards. So that's the only reason I'm putting CD above Saquon. Saquon's going to be more valuable. I get that 100%. I'm not going to argue against it. But as far as points scored on the season, CD Lamb as a wide receiver theoretically scores more than Saquon Barkley.
What's
That's all I'm saying.
crazy, what you just said is more valuable, which I would argue is why you take Saquon. Because you could get someone similar to CD. I don't think you get someone similar to Saquon.
No, you're right. But I don't know that you can get somebody similar to CD. That's basically you're looking at Jamar, CD, and even Justin Jefferson this year was.
Justin Jefferson,
Amon-Ra.
Yeah, but Amon-Ra this year was not the same.
Luka,
He finished the same.
Tyreek.
Puka didn't have 100 yards this season, or 1,000 yards. I mean, Tyreek was buns this year. That's all I'm saying.
I'm saying for next year though,
Sure, I'm just saying. Like the argument I'm making is,
but I just named.
I
a
think
bunch of
both-
people who definitely
I-
could do that.
but I can name Bijan Robinson, Brees Hall, Derrick Henry does it again.
Brees Hall.
Dude, if he
Dude,
did it the first
I didn't
year.
even have Brees Hall in my my top 20.
No,
Neither did I.
I don't know that. I don't think I do either.
It's,
I'm just saying, like, as far as like who goes there, like those guys could finish.
Well, either way, it's not a bad pick. If
Yeah,
you're
it's-
if you're taking
it's close.
lose your league,
Moving
blame it on
on.
Chris.
Moving to number 3.
I'm sorry, who won the league that all of us are in right now?
Excuse me. I won one of them.
Who won the league that we're all in? Me.
I did.
Johnny also won a league that we're all in. So,
Dang it, I can use that argument.
yeah.
Listen here.
Okay.
Listen here, pal. Nick, who you got for number 3?
Number 3, the RB1 this year. Technically not the true RB1 in my eyes or anyone's eyes, but Jahmyr Gibbs. He might be the safest pick.
I had Jahmyr at my number 3.
Safest pick?
Yes.
I had Jahmyr at my number 3, and then
So far.
I was haunted by a not so little man named David Montgomery. and
Knuckles.
I didn't bump Jahmyr far, but I thought that might worry some people. So I went with Bijan at the number 3. Not because I think he deserves it, because I think people are going to give him another chance. People kept giving Kyle Pitts another chance, and I think that they're...
Well,
Dude,
Bijan played
Bi-
good though.
He balled the second half of the
Well,
season.
yeah,
that
but
dude averaged like 23 points a game.
it
He
took
was
him, what,
balling.
was this his 3rd year?
Second,
It's only been 2 years.
I think so.
Yeah,
Last
that
year
guy
was
needs to be an all-pro right
last
now.
year. Last year, that guy was. We were all up in arms because they drafted him super early, and then Tyler Algier kept getting all the work.
They split.
But this was the first year that they let him do it. But it was year 2.
Dang, I
Alright.
thought it's been longer than that. But yeah, I
So-
put Bijan. Chris, who you got number 3? Oh,
Saquon Barkley.
okay.
I-
He's got to go there.
Yeah, I'm not crazy.
All
Dude,
right.
I don't think we have a single one that's the same anymore.
Good. It's going to get interesting from here. Moving on to number 4.
No, me and Johnny do.
Do we?
CD Lamb. This is where you take CD. I agree with Chris. He's still worth a top pick. He's going to be good next year. He's going to be great next year. Let me retake. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Let me say that again.
Wait a minute. Scratch that. Reverse it.
Yep. He's going to be great. Dak is a fantasy good quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback in real life as well.
Did you have Dak Prescott or Kirk Cousins?
Kirk Cousins.
Dak Prescott.
Not even close.
I knew that. I knew that was
Good
going to be
God.
the
You
answer.
do not look at Kirk Cousins
It's
and
not
tell
even
me
close.
with a
I'm just stirring the. I'm just stirring the
that
pot.
Kirk Cousins is
It's not-
better than Dak Prescott.
100%.
Dude, you are the most.
100%.
That is the worst take I've ever seen in my entire life.
Dak Prescott is going to throw for 1,000,000 yards and get nothing done. He is the Julio Jones of quarterbacks. Julio Jones, overrated
you
wide receiver
talking
of the
about?
generation.
That's crazy.
Dude went for 1,000 yards every year and had like 3 touchdowns.
Kirk Cousins no longer has Stephon Diggs
He's
or
going to the
Justin
Browns,
Jefferson.
bro. He's going to start.
And throw to who?
Dude, apparently freaking Jerry Jeudy, he was putting up 30 points a week.
Only with Jameis though.
Okay, but
Yeah.
Jameis out there slanging it. You don't think Kirk Cousins going to go out there and rip it?
Kirk Cousins looked like hot buns this year.
Yeah, pretty much towards the end there. I'm saying
Yeah.
overall though, in their
In a great situation.
I wouldn't compare year to year because Dak was hurt and Kirk was coming off an injury.
Coming up.
But
Yeah.
if you're
Pretty bad
looking-
one.
I'm still
Career-wise, I'm taking
Dak
Kirk
career.
Cousins. That's crazy. That's
For what it's worth,
what has
I'll
Dak
put my 2 cents into this, and then we can move on. I literally said that solely because I knew that
Dude,
that was the response from
That
us.
is crazy.
My 2 cents. Like I said, we can move on to get back to the rankings. I would take Dak Prescott.
Suck it. I'm not crazy.
ridiculous. Where you took CeeDee Lamb at
Idiot.
4, I took. That's where I put.
We both took Jameer
That's where I
Gibbs.
put Jameer Gibbs. Yeah, since
Yeah.
I didn't take him at 3. Moving on to number 5, Nick. Who do you have?
Your boy, he's back. Christian McCaffrey. I think it's scary to take him, but if you pass up on him and he is healthy all year, he could be the number 1 pick again. Like,
You look big dumb again.
yeah, Christian McCaffrey is such a high risk, high reward. You're basically drafting like this year for him to play 2 games and then
If that.
wasted your first round pick, or you draft him like you did first round 2 years ago and he's like the number 1 player by a mile and it's not even close, just like 30 points a game.
Yeah.
So for that, I'm taking the first 4 I'm taking are safer, but I could very easily see a world where CMC is better than all these players if he stays healthy.
Yeah, it's not out of the question.
My number 5, I've got Justin Jefferson. I
also have Justin Jefferson.
this is more of a thinking he's going to rebound. I just find it hard to believe he drops from 1 to further than 5.
Oh no, we gotta fix something here. I don't have Justin Jefferson in my top.
Bro left off Justin
Dude.
Jefferson. I don't think he'll. Last year he was pretty much going 1 or 2. This year, like I said, I don't think he's going to fall further than 5, just off of one kind of bad season for his standard. It wasn't even that bad. It was just
Yeah, and frankly, it was this. You can say what you want, but like the Sam Darnold experiment was what we thought was going to happen. The Vikings.
What?
Here's what I mean. The record-wise, they were good. Clearly, like they were going into the last week of the regular season, could literally have had the 1 seed. So, record-wise, they were good. What I'm saying though is, Justin Jefferson had kind of a down year. Jordan Addison had an up year comparatively to what he had. Aaron Jones was what Dalvin Cook was in that offense towards the back half of the year, where wasn't super efficient, but you're getting dump-offs. Tight ends weren't anything. Defensively, for some reason, they were relatively good. Offensively, they weren't really putting up that many points. A lot of their games were like 17-14,
Squeakers.
21-20, like kind of close games that they would squeak out. So
I
my
mean,
point is,
he won't be there.
that's one of those things. And my point is, I just don't. Darnold didn't play bad, but Darnold's not a guy who like wins you a game.
But he's no Kirk Cousins, is what you're saying.
Okay,
Oh yeah,
here's
I don't
my
have
logic.
Kirk Cousins 100%.
you guys are about to agree with me, but how is that any different than Patrick Mahomes this year?
What?
What do you mean?
Sam Darnold, squeaking out games, doesn't look that good.
I agree 100%.
Patrick Mahomes is going to start next year, because why?
Because he's Patrick Mahomes.
Well, but Patrick Mahomes has at least had a history of looking elite.
I'm not saying Sam Darnold shouldn't start. I'm saying he won't start.
And Darnold should
Yeah,
start.
I think he should start. I think he.
I
Can.
think he should start
I
too.
think he should and can. I don't think he will because the Vikings are gonna go get somebody.
There are plenty of
have JJ
teams.
McCarthy sitting on the bench.
He ain't gonna
There are
play.
Yeah,
There are-
they are.
Dude,
They're gonna.
there are
they're gonna
plenty of
start him.
teams.
That's crazy.
There are plenty of teams that I think Sam Darnold could be the starter over quarterbacks.
Oh yeah.
The
He's
Falcons.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Anywhere Kirk Cousins goes.
no, I don't have Kirk Cousins over Sam Darnold.
Oh.
But like there are legitimately teams that like I think Sam Darnold, Cleveland is a perfect example. But can't be worse, and he's definitely better than everybody there. He's the same level as Jameis in my mind, in the sense that Jameis is different. He's gonna throw the ball 45 times, but he's gonna have 4 interceptions and 3 picks, or 4 touchdowns, 3 picks. But Darnold's gonna not do that. He's gonna throw the ball like 22 times. He's not gonna turn it over, but it's gonna be real boring, and he's definitely not gonna. He's the classic Andy Dalton. No, dude, it's like what Andy Dalton did with the Bengals.
Andy Dalton used to rip it. All right.
Dude, he did, except for when you needed a big play on 4th down, and he'd roll out, and then he'd just hook a ball out of bounds,
Yeah,
and you're
that's
like, what good did that do? Like, that's what Sam Darnold does. He will not force a ball. He doesn't push the ball. He won't, give a guy a chance on a 50-50 ball. It's just not who he is, and that's not bad. It's just,
He just ain't
that's
got,
not going to win a
he
game in
ain't
a
got
close
the
game.
Sauce.
That's wild. Okay,
Where are we at?
back
6?
to it. Number 6.
Who you got?
My number 6 is Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think he's
so good.
I'm,
he's proven it.
I'm like
I mean,
one off
you-
on
Oh, God.
these.
I'm Amon-Ra also.
Yeah, Amon-Ra. Yeah, he's very safe.
I'm just tag teaming one of you.
I got CMC
What?
here for. I got CMC here for all the same reasons Nick said last time. He could either screw you or make your season.
Win ya.
So yeah, I'm pretty close. We're all pretty close so far. I think once you get past 10, it's where we start to get into chaos. All right,
Yeah.
what we got for number 7 here?
Number 7, I have Bijan Robinson.
Bijan Robinson.
And
Blazing.
I've got Amon Ross. So again, we're one off there. So
We're
Pretty
close.
much the same. Yeah, that's fine.
Self-explanatory. We'll go until we have something that.
Here
Catches
goes
our
here
eye.
goes my kind of hot take. Number 8, I have Justin Jefferson.
It's kind of low. Granted,
I
you
think-
did just say 3
I
minutes
fixed
ago
it.
that you
I
forgot
fixed
him.
it. Fixed
Yeah,
it.
we forgive you.
I had him on there, and the way you numbered them is probably the worst way I've ever seen in my entire life. So I had to
I didn't.
go and fix a bunch. I had to go delete a bunch because I forgot a player, and then I must have forgot to put him back on. So Justin Jefferson's my 8. I think Justin Jefferson is QB proof. I think he's great, and he's going to be great for whoever starts there. But I don't think JJ McCarthy is that good, and I think if he lasts even all year, it's going to be a down year for Justin Jefferson.
There's no way he lasts all year. There's no way.
So I think having him this low is not a diss at Justin Jefferson. It's a diss at whoever is.
That's just the
throwing
floor.
ball to him.
Yeah. That's the floor.
Um,
My 8, Devon Achane.
me too. He was the glue in the Dolphins' offense this year. If Tua's there and playing well, then you're set. If he's gone, you're screwed. So you better hope that they all stay healthy.
He's another one I had on my list, and I messed it up.
Oopsies. We're doing it live.
All right, moving on to number 9. I'll start it since Nick is looking at his list. This is probably one of my most controversial ones. I've got CD Lamb at number
That is
9.
real low.
And it's because, one, new coach coming in. We have no idea what this is going to look like.
They're saying it's the offensive coordinator there currently, probably, which is insane to me.
2, Dak Prescott sucks. 3,
You're an idiot. You're an
I
idiot.
don't know if CD Lamb is going to be. If he has the hamstring problem, I don't think he's going to play a whole season. That's a nagging injury, so we'll just see kind of what happens.
Who are we at 9?
9.
My 9 is Derrick Henry.
My 9. This is probably one of my hot takes, if there are some. CMC. I just think I'm putting him down there because people know the talent he's got. You know he's incredible, but I think people are incredibly burnt after.
CMC does not deserve to go. He's either a first round or never.
Yeah, he's made it back on my never draft list, unfortunately.
That's what I'm saying. There was like a 3-year stint that Johnny was like never, and then he went RB1 back-to-back seasons, and Johnny went okay, fine, and then he had one more good season, and then now you see back to the injury. So
Yeah.
I think people are just burnt, and because of that he's gonna fall. But
Not doing it. Yep. Moving on to number 10. Nick, you've got one that I wanted to put. I just don't think the general community is going to be smart enough to do this. So,
Dude, you guys are crazy. Number 10,
I don't think you're crazy. I just don't think other people are going to do it.
Brock Bowers. Everybody loved Travis Kelce. Brock Bowers is kind of crazy.
He is crazy.
I think Brock Bowers.
That is a positional advantage.
I think Brock Bowers goes in our league. I would be shocked if in mock drafts, once they start coming out for ESPN, whatever, that if he's going in the first round, even if it is the bottom. But if he is, dang.
Gosh.
But we'll see. Number 10, I had Derrick Henry, so right behind Nick's there.
I had Puka Nakua, assuming he plays a full season. That dude played like a half of a season and still was like 10 yards short of 1,000. So he's
not just diss him for not having 1,000 yards.
No, for the sake of that argument, I did. Yes.
Moving on to number 11, Nick, who do you got?
Tyreek Hill. I think kind of the same reasons for CMC. He could win you a league if he's back, but I think he'll be better than he was this year. I think Tua dying. Oh, Chris is glazing. Here we go.
No, I realized I didn't have Brock Bowers on my list either. Oopsie.
Tua dying, I think, did not help Tyreek, and then it was just a mess. I think Tyreek will be back, but I don't think he'll be as good. So I think he'll be beginning of the second.
That's not bad. I had... Wait, what number are we on?
11.
I had Puka Nakua.
11.
So,
I have Derrick Henry.
Right below. Chris and I just flipped that pick. We're all in the same vicinity there for all the same reasons. Moving on to number 2.
Here's my hot take. I don't think Tyreek. I didn't have him in my top 20, and I'm leaving it that way. I think he's washed. That's my hot take.
I also do not have him in my top 20.
Okay.
Alrighty, great. I'm gonna get Tyreek for free this year.
It's possible because I ain't taking him. But I've also
I would take
him. I didn't take him when he was on the Chiefs. So
yeah, I would take him. Just a matter of where he falls.
Moving on to number 12, I probably have him higher than most people here. Yep, I've got Kyren Williams. Might be a little high. I thought it was a little high when I was putting him there. But especially if the Rams lose Cooper Kupp, then that's one less weapon for Matt Stafford. They're gonna have to use Kyren Williams that much more unless they replace Cooper Kupp with someone. So I think he's solid. I think he's got to go that high, somewhere around there.
Yeah, this is where I filled in Brock Bowers.
I have Puka Nakua.
Hey, look, 2 Rams. Moving on, number 13, Nick, who you got?
Von a chain.
Low on Devon. Why? Lower
He's
than
a PPR
Tyreek.
monster.
What?
Lower than Tyreek.
Yep.
That's crazy.
I think he'll just be okay. I think his stats were padded a little bit when Tua was out. I think once Tua's back and healthy, they will continue to use Devon, but I think they'll go back to the passing game more.
I think the passing game is Devon A-Chain. That's
Could be.
Mike McDaniels. That's about all.
I don't
he's
know what
got.
happened. Like I said before, you had Tyreek. He was awesome. All of a sudden this year he stunk. And then this year, Jalen Waddle was worse than I've ever seen. So I don't know what happened.
Number 13, I've got Josh Jacobs. That man was a touchdown machine. He wasn't
That's who I have also.
He wasn't going for a ton of yards all the time, but dude was pumping out touchdowns. You don't have him in the top 20? That's crazy.
I think 2 touchdown dependent.
I'll take it if you're getting a touchdown every game.
That's what Derrick Henry is.
Yeah, until the last 3 seconds of a game, Derrick Henry busts his signature 45-yard run, and then you're like, okay, well, he hit 90 yards now.
Yeah.
You guys lose your leagues.
Hey, I won. All right, buddy. With my geriatric team. Moving on to number 14, is it?
Yes.
All right, who you got? I like this one. I like it.
Chase Brown. I could put him higher, but I don't think I will.
I don't think people will go for it.
I think he'll finish top 5 back this year. If he stays healthy.
That's kind of crazy.
Like all-purpose back?
Yep.
I could see it. You're banking on the Bengals not adding somebody, though.
I think he's better. I don't think they add somebody. I think he's better than Derrick Henry. He's going to be better than Derrick Henry.
Are you talking about fantasy football?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a fantasy football podcast. What are we talking about? We're doing a
I
draft.
was just making sure.
Yeah, just there's a moment of panic internally.
I think I would trust him more than CMC.
Yeah.
So that's 2. So
Trust-wise, yeah.
Saquon, Jameer are over him. Bijan, Devon Chain, and then
Kyron.
I don't think Derrick Henry.
If they don't do anything in the offseason, it's hard to argue how much production he had in the back half for fantasy purposes. Dude was like 150 scrimmage yards. It was like everything he did was big runs. He would get a catch, and then it was like a 30-yard break, and then, I mean, it's hard to argue if nothing changes that he's not up there.
Hey, crap, Chris, did we do your 13?
No, we're doing it now. It's because I just switched it.
Oh.
It got off with Bowers, so technically it's my 12.
You're confusing me.
11, 12, 13. This is my 14.
I was just saying we're
14.
on 14.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
This is 14.
Yeah,
because you numbered it so badly.
How can you number?
It's mine is Jonathan Taylor. I think the back half is.
I like it.
Back half is where he figured out. Hopefully, the Colts figured out how to use him again because you got back to Anthony Richardson in the back half of the season. They were finally giving Jonathan Taylor the ball. He was finally like 20-plus carries a game, 100-plus rushing yards, multiple touchdowns, like what you anticipate. So you're hoping this is like righting the ship, but who knows?
I have got James Cook, and I'm just hoping that they actually use him. So that's all I've got for him.
He should be higher.
He should be, but
dude's awesome in that offense, but they won't use him.
Moving on to number 15, Nick's got someone. I don't have in my top 20.
Alvin Kamara. PPR machine.
Jenkins.
I just don't trust the Saints anymore. So.
Yeah, and I also think Kamara's approaching the end. And now the time is near.
Oh gosh, that's not even the words at all.
And then Chris, who do you have for?
James Cook.
Oh, okay, so close to
This
me.
is where I put him. I'm close, but.
And I've got one I didn't want to put here, but I figured I'd better. Malik Neighbors. He's
kind of high.
He's got to crack the top 20, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he's in mine.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Moving on to number 16. I'll start us off. I've got Jonathan Taylor. So right around the same spot. Again, look, we're pretty close.
I've got Jonathan Taylor as well.
Oh, this is where I put Kyron Williams.
Okay, so he's there a little lower,
Except
but
my autocorrect put Karen.
Karen Williams.
Oh boy.
We'll keep
Rookie.
cooking. Number 17, I've got Brian Thomas Jr., someone that I didn't pay any attention to all season, but I knew I had to put him in the top 20. So that's where he showed up.
With Mac Jones.
Who you guys got there?
I got Malik Neighbors.
This is good old Bucky Irving. That dude
Neighbors
was a
beat him up.
freak also. Maybe this is really high, but
I
he was
I
awesome.
don't think so, because number 18, I got Bucky Irving.
Y'all don't want to hear my 18.
Yeah, I cannot believe you put 2 of them.
How?
Dude, I did too.
Ray McBride.
I did also.
I'm not
An
saying
18.
I don't think the general public will do it.
McBride,
2 of them?
he was, dude, mathematically, did you see the difference between the two on the end of the year?
He-
Bowers was the tight end 1, but Bowers had way more
McBride, touchdowns.
Yeah, way more touchdowns. And McBride had I think it was 20 less yards on it was 20 or 30 more catches or something crazy.
Yeah, I don't.
We're not appealing to the public here.
Well,
We're
this
telling
is-
them what they should do.
I'm just saying this is what I think will go in the top 2 rounds, and I'm telling you, I don't think
No,
that 2 tight
This
ends
isn't,
are
Dude,
going.
this isn't a guessing
Listen,
game. This
you
is
think about it this
should
way.
do
Think about it this way. This year, Travis Kelce was, I think, back half second, right? Am I crazy?
Probably.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Sam Laporto definitely was mid second. He was the first tight end to go.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now neither of them are going.
No, but my point is you had 2 tight ends have the production that you thought those 2 were going to have in those positions.
I'd be shocked if they went for it after 1 year.
We got him.
I'll believe it when I see
Spoiler
it.
alert. Spoiler alert.
Hold on.
I got
If you're gonna
McBride in
say
there.
that, Laporta was a rookie 2 years ago. Last year was his second year,
Yeah,
and they took
I
it.
was shocked that he went that high last year.
but they took it.
Mine
Uh,
is Malik Neighbors. That's where I
You
put
just
him.
said it was. But you just said it was.
I'm moving on to the next one.
Ray.
What
Oh.
number are we
Malik
on?
Money?
Neighbors. That should be 19. 18. Sorry, 18.
Yeah, he was the last one of 18. So now we're on 19.
Okay.
I have Drake London reluctantly. I just
Eh.
really hoping the quarterback situation pans out there. I think people will take him because he scored so many fantasy points, but we'll see.
This is Brian Thomas Jr. Back-to-back second-year guys.
Nick, who
I'm
you-
taking little hot, but James Cook. I feel bad putting
kinda
him here,
low.
That's low.
but I think he could finish higher.
Dang, you're number 20. And number
That is hot.
20 on my list is Chase Brown. I think he sneaks in right at the end there.
This is my T. McBee, Trey McBride.
You know what? Screw you guys. I'm going back to what I had.
Go ahead.
Would you
Tell
just say it?
Tell the people.
I had
Oh,
Jackson
okay.
Smith and Jigba.
Tell the people what you just deleted.
Joe Mixon. Okay. You guys are crazy. He was great.
He was.
He's gonna
good-
be
he
great.
in the
was-
beginning,
Yeah, he
In the
tapered-
beginning.
In the beginning.
He tapered off hardcore, but so did the Texans. So
Yep.
can you really blame him?
No.
But anyways, that was our first 2 rounds of what we think.
we'll probably readjust it as the season
Yeah,
goes.
Let's do
People
all
have
16.
drafts.
Let's go.
We'll do a couple mocks here and there.
Maybe we'll do a mock.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do a mock live on
We gotta
sleepers.
figure out how to do
Like
that.
Oh, we can figure it out, Peter. So I think it's safe to say with that the running back position is making a comeback.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments who had the best team you thought for best 2
And-
rounds.
And yeah.
And then let us know how you feel about Dak versus Kirk Cousins. I'll put up.
Oh my
I'm gonna put up a
gosh.
poll. I'm gonna put up a poll. Dak versus Kirk Cousins. We'll get the results next week.
Oh, dude, this is gonna be a landslide.
Find out next time. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back next Monday at 10 p.m. enjoy whatever the Pro Bowl does. I don't even know what's happening anymore. Nobody cares. We love you. Thank you. Have a great week. Goodbye.